Well, welcome to our Golden Globe Film Prediction Slugfest. I'm Chris Beachum with Gold Derby. We've got Paul Sheehan, Susan Wloszczyna, Joyce Eng, and Daniel Montgomery, all editors of the website. We're just a few hours away from finding out the nominations early on Thursday morning. And this particular Slugfest, we're going to talk about film. You can also find on our YouTube channel and our homepage one that we're recording about television as well. But let's start with you, Paul, and tell me on the drama film category, what 5 do you have in?
Oh gosh, all 5. Well, I keep changing my mind on that. I do so well at the Oscars and predicting those nominations, but this one is always flummoxes me, so I keep changing. I do have in drama winning even, and I still can't quite fathom that it's a drama, A Star Is Born. Winning that, I guess. Chris, talk a little bit about that before we sort of get too far into the weeds on this, just how the Globes decides to split up the genres. They've got film, drama, and film.
Every studio puts in requests. They do that back when they do their ballots or their submissions back at the end of October, early November. And for the most part, they follow the studio request. This year, both of the musicals that were sort of in question, not Mary Poppins, of course, but Bohemian Rhapsody, that has a ton of music, and Star Is Born, requested drama and were awarded drama. Really, the only thing we saw of any massive substance that got changed, the studio had requested Natalie Portman be supporting for her movie, but they put her in lead. So anyway, they do have the comedy musical category. And for the people that say, well, Star Is Born, Bohemian are not comedies, it says comedy or musical. It's not comedy/musical or comedy or and musical. But anyway, it doesn't bother me as much as it bothers some other people. They're both very dramatic movies.
I just think they want to be taken seriously for the Oscars and other awards. And so to be declared a drama is maybe a step up in some ways. I don't know.
We have seen that in certain circumstances. Something wins on the comedy side or a person wins on the comedy side, and then they're not taken as seriously at the Oscars. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. And I'm wondering if they're worried even more about, say, Lady Gaga had won the comedy musical Globe, one of the actors, or Bradley Cooper, and then they don't, and then somebody else gets a leg up on them by winning the drama actor or actress category. So that's the reason why I think they wanted to be on the drama side.
So we're all taking A Star Is Born very seriously and predicting it's going to win. I think, aren't all 5 of us saying it's going to win Best Drama at the Globes?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And so what do you, Daniel, think is the most credible threat to it? Do you think it is another drama with music, Bohemian Rhapsody, or something else?
I think Bohemian Rhapsody gets in. We've been hearing a little bit of tattle about how, because the Hollywood Foreign Press Association that decides the winners is a very small organization, less than 100 members. So if they really love something, it's easy for it to overperform our expectations. So I think it gets in, but I don't think it wins. Honestly, I don't know if there is a credible threat to it to win. Like I see a lot of films like Black Klansman is in my top 5. If Beale Street Could Talk, I think those are films that have a shot to be nominated and maybe win other categories. But I don't know that they're gonna really challenge a film like A Star Is Born with the Hollywood Foreign Press, who really love big stars and they really love big hits. So it really seems like it's right up their alley.
Joyce, what do you think?
Yeah, Joyce.
Right. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I've just had A Star Is Born in #1 since they decided to go drama, and like they haven't changed it. And I just haven't really thought about 2 through 5. It's kind of just like filling out those slots for me. I can't really see anything taking it down. Like Daniel, I have those same movies in my top 5, but I think A Star Is Born is winning. And like to the whole like drama musical thing, like I think like both Star and Bohemian, like they have more of an argument to be in drama, not just because they're both dramatic films, but all the music is non-diegetic in it. And like classically speaking, musicals have diegetic music. So that's not an issue for me that it's in drama. And
so I do crosswords, but you have to define that word. The big fancy word you're using.
Diegetic music is just when, like in a musical, when people use like songs they just break out into song, and it's like not part of the narrative. It's like for the audience enjoyment. But like all the music in Star and Bohemian, it's like the characters are performing it. It's part of the narrative.
Mary Poppins is the opposite.
Yeah, Mary Poppins is diegetic music. Like they break out into song for us.
I think the problem people are having, if they have a problem at all with it, is just from year to year that context can change. Remember, Walk the Line and Ray were considered comedy or musicals. I am glad they did not break these two up. I think you would have then had a big outcry. Well, why did you put Bohemian in musical and you didn't put Star is Born in musical? So at least if they can be consistent within a year's cycle, I think I'm okay with that. Well, tell us. The five that I have basically are Black Panther. I'm looking at these alphabetically. Bohemian, Star is Born, Beale Street, and my sort of odd choice, I've got A Quiet Place in there. I think they've mounted a really strong campaign, and it's really Paramount's only big play this year. And they do try to reward all the studios with spots here and there, even if it's a score nomination or a song nomination or foreign language or something. They try to make sure all the studios are covered, because they are a small group and they know where their bread is buttered. But I think A Quiet Place could get in there and possibly not get any other nominations. What about comedy? Susan, you just mentioned Mary Poppins. What do you think that, this comedy category, even without the two we mentioned, is very, very strong. What do you have in your five?
Well, I have The Favorite being the favorite. And Green Book, Vice, which I love. I think it's my favorite movie of the year. Mary Poppins Returns and Crazy Rich Asians. And I do think it would be harder for the two non-musicals now to, maybe stick out as much, because I think The Favorite, given its recent awards love from the British independent people and things like that, it's really catching on. It's doing very well even in this country at the box office, and it hasn't even opened wide yet.
Yeah,
do we all have those five?
Favorite. Yeah. I
have those exact five.
I'm like considering swapping like The Favorite and Mary Poppins, like, because I feel like that when it opens, it's going to be big too. Like, and that's when they're voting for the winners. And like, again, it's like the classic non-diegetic musical. So I could see that winning, or I could also see a split of like The Favorite winning film and then maybe like Emily Blunt winning actress. So they like cover both of them.
Yeah.
Because I could see like the Globes just really going for Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recently moved Mary Poppins into my number one spot for both film and actress. Like, they're obsessed with musicals. Whenever they can get award a musical, they often do. The last time I remember, Les Mis won Best Picture and Best Actor for Hugh Jackman, and that was the year Silver Linings Playbook could have swept, but they just go straight for the musical sometimes. And this is likely to be a huge hit, which again the Globes love. So,
but conversely, if they love musicals and they're going to give Best Drama to A Star Is Born, then they've ticked that box in a way. Like, do you not think that gives a chance to either the Green Book or The Favorite? Then because then they're doubling down on musicals. And sorry, just to be a bit of go back just to the whole category division. First of all, the fact that we've talked about the strong slate of films that are comedies or musicals, and really, it's equal to, if not more than, the drama side of the equation. So I feel like, again, Star Is Born and Bohemian Rhapsody, a little bit of fraud to get over there. But particularly, and Joyce has written about this even just the other day, about Star Is Born maybe outdoing what Barbra Streisand's version did, which contended over in musical and comedy, and that Bradley and Lady Gaga could win, just like Judy Garland and James Mason did, over in musical or comedy. It's just it just sits so it's so unsettles me that they've been allowed to sort of change what two previous versions were categorized.
I think since The Tourist and like the Martian fiascos, they've tried to like rectify all the backlash. So it's
I
like
think they look at the landscape too a little bit of what they've got available. If this year had been pretty weak on comedy musical, and we see that we have 5 really, really, really strong contenders there, maybe they would have said, you know what, if we don't bolster up the comedy musical side, we're going to look silly during that section of the show. They probably looked at the landscape and said, you know, we could honor the studio's request here and still have a really strong comedy musical slate.
Right.
Yeah, ironically, I think the you know, because when they first announced that they were going for drama instead of musical or comedy, because we traditionally think of musical or comedy as like maybe the easier categories, because there's not always as much going on. The big awards movies tend to be dramatic. And I always thought, oh, that's such a terrible decision. Why are they going drama? But I think it might have been smart to get out of the way of this really crowded race. You know, A Star is Born probably would have won either way, but I could have seen The Favorite winning over Star is Born for film comedy musical.
Mary Poppins could beat it.
Mary Poppins could beat it. Green Book, you know, depending on how the award season is going up to that point. So yeah, I think maybe they actually got into the small pond as the big fish, going to drama instead of staying in comedy musical.
The one movie we didn't mention in this category that I think it's a solid 5. I think it's those 5. But we all may be sleeping just a little bit on 8th Grade, because that one is winning awards.
That's not a Golden Globe movie, though.
I don't think so either, but
because Elsie Fisher, no one knows her. They want stars.
Well,
they'll nominate Elsie though.
They'll look. I've seen them. At least it feels like from my end of things over the years. If they feel like they're going to be behind the curve, not picking something, they might go that way. But I think Elsie does get in for actress. When you get past about the 3rd or 4th slot on actress, it does become a matter of, you know, there's not that many available that you would say they would go for. Let's stick with those 2 just since we're on them now. Daniel, who have you got winning comedy on lead actor and lead actress?
I go back and forth on these. I've got Emily Blunt for comedy musical actress. The Globes love her. They nominate her for everything. She won for Gideon's Daughter for TV supporting actress years back when you know she was just breaking out.
Like she was also nominated for The Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, and so they love her. You know, a lot of times her biggest challenge is if the Golden Globes want to be seen as predicting the Oscars, which they often do. That might be a reason they go for Olivia Colman instead, because she seems like a likelier at this point winner for Best Actress at the Oscars, at least, than Emily Blunt does. So I think it's between those 2. And then film comedy musical actor is actually a lot tougher. I think it's Viggo or Christian Bale. I've got Viggo at the moment. I could also see a scenario where Mary Poppins Returns gets another one for Lin-Manuel Miranda, because you know he's so loved in the industry. But I feel like Mary Poppins will be taken care of, you know, if they want to take care of it elsewhere. So I think they'll try and do the Oscar thing here. And I've got Viggo at the moment, but I think it's him or Christian.
Well, I do too. Yeah, but I put Christian on top because what he does is really truly miraculous. And it's such a different performance than anything out there. It's so quiet, yet it's so effective. I love it. So.
Who do you have on actress? Do you have Emily or Olivia?
I have Olivia. Okay. I just think The Favorite is turning into something more than just a British independent film with a Greek director. So.
The one thing I'm worried about her for the whole season, at least through December, is she's shooting The Crown, has not come over to America for anything, New York nor Los Angeles. Meanwhile, Emily Blunt is practically she's coming to my house for lunch today. She's everywhere. So, and of course, very charming as always. Now that doesn't mean that Olivia hasn't done something online let's say, some satellite interviews with especially Globe voters, which is a small group that we're not even aware of. So, but in terms of the overall campaign, Olivia should be fine to get in for all the different awards,
Right.
and hopefully she'll be able to campaign once January hits.
Yeah.
Paul and Joyce, who do you have in those top 2 slots?
I have Olivia and Christian, but I can totally again see Emily winning that. But I feel like they might go with Olivia because she wasn't there when she won 2 years ago, or like a year and a half ago. Yeah, right? 2017. Yeah, almost 2 years ago for The Night Manager. And it kind of reminds me of like during the strike when John Hamm couldn't give a speech when he first went for Mad Men, and then they gave it to him for the last season of Mad Men, and then he got to give a speech. So I could see them just like wanting to get her on stage and wanting to like honor the favorite in some way, especially if you don't know how they go with like musical. I could see them pairing that up, like, because a lot of times they like giving an acting award with the film or TV show. And sometimes they could just split it up, but I have her right now. And yeah, I have Christian because I feel like that's kind of a bigger performance, which they'll gravitate to. And I have Mahershala winning for Green Book and supporting. So
Okay, Paul?
Yeah, Olivia Colman, but I holding out hope for Viggo Mortensen. And I guess I'm mindful of the sort of the glad handing and the sort of such a small group. I mean, less than 100. You know, if it's a close race, I mean, you could win it with 20 votes. So at this point, but that just might be sort of just wishful thinking on my part. But.
Paul, let's keep it with you on the drama 2 lead categories. I think almost all of us here have Bradley and Lady Gaga winning. Is that what you have?
Yeah, I mean, I gave up on my Julia Roberts for Ben is Back a while back. But
who do you think are their strongest competitor? Who would you say Mike could take Bradley down, or Mike could take Lady Gaga down?
Glenn Close.
Yes.
Perhaps.
And Joyce did an article recently about Glenn. Glenn has never won a film award from the Globe.
She's never won a Globe or SAG for film. Like
But
all of her Globes and SAGs are for
been
TV.
nominated?
Yeah, but all of her wins have been for TV stuff.
Oh.
I don't know if they know that. I think they sometimes know that they've never given somebody an award, period. But I don't know if they know the breakdowns of film and TV and such. I don't
think they like differentiate for that, but they might know that like they didn't give her for like her iconic work in the 80s, you know?
Right.
Well, I've been bouncing her up and down over Lady Gaga, but I've kind of given in to the Gaga. Whatever.
Well, you know, we're hearing that they just absolutely adore Natalie Portman in her movie, and the fact that they argued and debated over moving her to lead, maybe that's a signal to us. Maybe we're overlooking her a little bit, based on what we've heard about their feelings about her, and that they were so demanding that she be a lead. You know, maybe it's a possibility she could win that in a surprise, right?
Yeah. Well, does anybody else have Yalitza in there?
I definitely got her getting nominated. You know, that movie cannot be up for Best Picture. It can win a lot of critics awards for Best Picture. It could win the Oscar for Best Picture. But and I did confirm that it is eligible at SAG. They sometimes have their rules about, you know, SAG negotiated contracts and stuff. But I did check with Netflix, and it is eligible at SAG for ensemble and the various actors. But it's not eligible for drama picture here, although the actors are.
Right. And then I don't know, I keep waffling on Widows because, I mean, Viola Davis obviously has been a figure in most recent awards shows, so it's hard to overlook her. And I think she and her dog are the best thing about that movie. So.
I think she has a better chance of getting in at SAG, where they love her, than the Globes, because she didn't even win a Globe until Fences. Like, and I feel like if she were still getting in for How to Get Away with Murder, I would feel more comfortable predicting her. But they dropped her long ago.
Well, then if somebody had to drop out, maybe it would be her for Natalie Portman. So
That category is just stacked in general, so it's kind of just like, who do you want to bargain with to put in? Because I like constantly just like put in people and remove people. So it's like, I don't know what to do with Melissa McCarthy. Like, I have her in for now, but I could totally see her getting snubbed.
See, I think they would like her there, you know, and represented. So, I mean, she's fun.
And
as we wrap up,
I like Natalie Portman. She's not that fun.
As we wrap up, just each person quickly, who have you got winning the 2 supporting races? Paul, we'll start with you.
Oh gosh, I just was updating that as we were all talking just now. Come to me at the end, because
I think we all have Regina King, right?
Yeah.
It just feels like her time, and I've never predicted her to win an Emmy, and she's fooled me 3 times. So,
but maybe now you jinx her.
Well, that's possible, but we've felt this for several weeks since we saw the movie together, and then she's been somewhat dominating several of the races, several of the critics awards that we've already seen. So I think that's becoming a little bit safer. And she's never won a Globe before. And then I'll just, while Paul's looking that up, I'll say I flip so often on this supporting actor race. I think right now I've got Sam Elliott winning.
So, sorry, I just wanted to jump in because that was the race I was just updating, and I had Amy Adams in there, who they love, and I was just about to switch it to Regina King based on.
See, Amy is good in Vice. I mean, everybody's good in Vice, but it's not. It wouldn't be my first choice of my favorite role of hers. So, you know, and she's young enough; she'll have other chances. Not that Regina is that old.
What about supporting actor, everybody? I'm just mentioning I've got Sam Elliott.
I have Mahershala just because they didn't give it to him 2 years ago.
Yeah, I have him too.
I've got Mahershala. I also think I feel so much more confident that Stars Born will win the 2 lead acting races. As much as they go crazy sometimes at the Globes, like when La La Land went 7 for 7, I don't see them giving 3 acting awards to Stars Born. I can see this being where, you know, they know they're giving the lead acting awards to Stars Born, so they'll go elsewhere here, and they sort of owe it to Mahershala. So I've got him at the moment.
But you know, Richard E. Grant. I mean, I don't know if he's ever won anything.
No.
He was part of the Gosford Park SAG Ensemble win. That's the only thing he's ever won.
Yeah, but I just think he could sneak in.
He's been off on the, we've seen him at a party or 2, and he's very charming as well, as you could imagine. So I could see him. The party we went to, I think over half the people there, it was a Fox Searchlight party, were Golden Globe voters. He was talking to each one individually, and he's the kind of guy. Well, Sam Elliott's this way too. He puts his hand on your shoulder and he talks to you, and that really works its magic on some people, almost like a politician. Well, thanks everybody. Like I said before, we will have a TV Slugfest as well, leading into the Globe nominations on Tuesday. And thanks for watching.